Hi, welcome back to another episode of Victoria 2, Heart of Darkness. We last left off, we were preparing to justify another war with Siam, and have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that we deserve our great power status. So, without any further ado, let's begin. Someone, of course, had to go bankrupt, and our economy will shake itself out. But shook itself out pretty well. And Steel Steamers is finished, which means we're pretty much up to date on Navy techs. I'm going to grab one level in each of these two far right columns for some extra organization and supply range, but they probably won't be that useful. And let's see. Oh, we still don't have any inventions, but we do have a lot of inventions that are available, and building up naval bases so that we will be able to build up these new types of ships once they become available. Oh, railroad finish there. Some additional attack, and we can increase the opinion of Portugal. So, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and raise it up to full influence. Portugal would be nice to grab. I'm not sure that we'll ever really have a chance, but it's at least worth a shot. And we are now under 15 infamy. So, Siam is unfortunately part of the UK sphere, though, just recently, which means I may attack one of these others. Let's see what options we have. Demand concession, don't really just want another state from Burma. If I'm going to get a state, it might as well be Chinese. Dynam has enough states that would be the same issue. Well, this is annoying. I'm going to raise influence, lower it back with Portugal, and raise it in Siam, with the view of taking Siam out of the UK's influence so that I can finish them off. Not that I couldn't win a war against the UK, but I did just fight them and have no interest in fighting them again. Not quite so soon, anyways. And finish naval plan, so going to do naval professionalism. And we have another election that recently started, so going to choose pro-military, because the conservative faction's still who we like. Well, let's see. Capitalists are building no projects right now. But there are some unemployed craftsmen in Seoul. So on this election event, going to choose the lowest effect. Looks like I'm going to expand fertilizer factory, but Seoul should be alright anyways. Some extra organization, allowing construction of cruisers and battleships, and an increase to attack to max speed, and a hull for ironclads. Let's see. No naval ports capable of creating cruisers yet, but we do have a couple level 3 naval ports, so going to go ahead and upgrade those, which is quite expensive, 60,000 each, but worthwhile, so that we will be able to start building cruisers and perhaps battleships. Yeah, cruisers and battleships here in about 3 years, which is a lot longer than would be ideal, but that means in the 1890s we will finally have a modern navy for the first time all game. Right, choosing protectionism in the election event. I'm going to turn around and raise taxes on the middle and rich, since the rich aren't really spending their money on any projects right now and have plenty of money. So I could also use some more income so that I will be able to upgrade all of these ports as quickly as possible. And going to choose protectionism again in this event. I'm going to use this navy screen to keep up with where I can build new ports. Sendai, where is that? Up here. Ah, nice event to give us some support of residency. And naval professionalism just finished. So what to do next? I'm going to go with military statistics, increase the organization of our armies, and that'll take just about 4 months. All of these are coming through very quickly. Tensions are dissipating in Southeast Asia, at least in parts of it. It's annoying that we will not be able to we won't be able to do much with Siam, but such is life. And we might be able to pull them out of the UK's sphere pretty quickly. I'm going to wait until I'm at near or at 100% influence before I jump up their opinion of us. That way the UK will have less time to react. And choosing pro-military. Rifled guns, additional attack for our navies. And their beliefs must be respected. We really should stop messing with these holy sites. Neither of those options, either who gives a hoot or their beliefs must be respected, are both of them are negative, so it would really be nice if our people would stop doing that. Choosing pluralism, and Poland's trying to cause an issue again. Looking at the rebel factions, nothing to worry about, so going to leave them be. No, I'm not going to help you out, Poland. The UK can, though. And Two Sicilies has already backed them. So let's see. Looks like Prussia's going to join, and the Ottomans and France will all join the Russians. So I'm going to declare an interest here and keep an eye out, choosing the lowest effect from this election event. Just going to keep an eye out on the crisis. If I can gain a little bit of prestige, so be it, especially if it weakens the UK, who is one of the big rivals that's trying to catch up to me. Though we are gaining, looking at us versus France, we're gaining on them at least. Someone else has gone bankrupt. Sucks for them. And I'm going to throw my hat in to support the Russians. And even the Ottomans are still, even with all these backers, the Ottomans are still going to support Russia. So it's not looking good for Poland and their freedom. And we are now at 100% with Siam, so going to increase opinion. And then in 2 weeks, when I'm able to, increase it again. Or 1 week, I guess. Increase opinion again. And now I just have to beat out the UK and get to 100% before they get to 65. Not looking like they're going to stop me either. Because Portugal is kind of a bigger concern for them. But they might. Knock on wood, here's hoping we will get Siam back out of the sphere of the UK and be able to finally add them to our empire. Military statistics just finished. I don't really need the mobilization size. I'm going to choose deep defense system. It's a very useful tech. And then probably get steel breech-loaded artillery. And then I might move back over and grab like scientific management, which adds +4 to our output efficiency tech, or maybe even electricity, so that our next big war we won't have to worry about attrition quite as much. And there we go. Gained a little bit of prestige, I think, from that. But most importantly, the UK lost quite a bit of prestige, dropping them down below Prussia. And let's see, a few more of my naval bases presumably will have finished expanding at this point. Although, I'm not seeing it. Ah, there we go. So going to expand here, then need to build up some more money so that I can continue to expand these. Additional attack, dye factories, which will be nice to create clothing, or luxury clothing at least, considering how much fabric we put out. Oof. consciousness, militancy, or they can take the consciousness. Oh dear. Russia has declared war on us for the bit of land that we took last time. So I'm going to raise up maintenance as well as raising taxes on the poor. Now leave the taxes on the rich where they currently are. And am okay with pretty much just being in a holding pattern, considering the alternative is running up against some high supply limits, or some low supply limits rather. I'll hold until the deep defense system finishes, and then go from there. It's unfortunate that France has joined in, but if we can just hold on to this land for a while, and to that goal I am going to move these 69,000 troops to the land that Russia's trying to take. But if we can just hold on to it for a short amount of time, well, a couple years, Russia will be forced to give up their attempt to take it back just due to the taking war score. So I'm going to try and expand the naval base here. It's kind of a screw you to Russia. Russia, there is nowhere you can really hit me, so you are completely welcome to do whatever it is you're going to do. Oof. And the Chinese have decided that now's the time to declare war on us as well. Shit is hitting the fan. Oof. But I'm going to leave this 4th Army here to defend in eastern China. Anywhere that the Chinese try to attack, I should be able to beat them back. And as a plus, I can probably add, or I can probably grab another state from China, from this war at least. But in the meantime, I really just want to get peace with Russia. Let's see. 51 supply limit. I think I can actually only take the 2% attrition here, taking this grassland or the plains area from Russia. But I'm going to start moving this army around quickly to wipe out the stacks that the Chinese are sending. They were partially westernized, so they're starting to approach the point where they will be able to have an army that's meaningful. But for the moment, this is looking like it'll be a complete one-sided affair. Oof. Just a matter of cutting through their troops quickly enough. But looking at these casualty numbers, it shouldn't be a problem defeating them. Oh, and Serbia is offering white peace. I will accept that. Pull somebody out of the war. Another very successful battle there. And I'm going to hit the Russians and occupy, then pull back to occupied land so that I don't run up against the supply limit too painfully anyways. And some of the sub-states are sending pretty large armies to help China try to take back southern Zahili. They're not going to take it back, but they're welcome to try, I suppose. As you can see from the casualty numbers that they're putting up, or that I'm putting up against the Chinese, they really don't have any hope of winning this war. They can send as many hundreds of thousands of troops at me as they'd like. And it looks like right now that number is about 900,000 troops. Let's see. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do, is add Jiangsu, which has a lot of tea production, which is one of the big things that we import, as well as silk, which is very valuable. And, of course, another space for... it's a coastline state, so there will be space for more coastal or more army bases naval bases. More naval bases to be built. One more, to be precise, but that means one more that will eventually be able to turn out dreadnoughts. So, alright, and won that occupation. So, going to move and try and take some more of Mongolia's land, I guess, not Manchuria. And the battles here in southern Zahili are going quite well. The Chinese just really can't hope to stand against my might. And I'm going to send this army sweeping through the countryside, and then eventually back to where they currently are. So that should clear out all potential occupiers. And I've made contact here in Yaksa with the Russians, doing far more damage than I'm taking, so it would appear that we have higher tech than they do. It's good to be a great power. The Chinese did not make a good decision, so we might even take a couple states from them rather than dealing with Siam. Though it's looking like we'll be able to pull Siam out of the UK sphere regardless. And these battles are just ongoing. Oof. Thankfully this will be a pretty quick occupation, because otherwise this attrition will do some serious damage. And let's see. Lots of places that are trying to be occupied by the Chinese. But as I've said, they can try all they want. When they're doing basically no damage to our armies and losing 70,000 in a time, it doesn't really matter what they do. I'm going to move the second army here to take another bit of Russia and to attack what remains of the 30,000 troops that the 6th army just routed. Ooh, 118,000 troops. This is going to be bloody for the Chinese. Yep. Their numerical superiority is dropping by about 12,000 a day. They're down to 61,000 now. It's just not even close to being a fair fight. Fortunately, due to the number of provinces, there's not... I'm going to move back the 3rd army to help out, because there are just too many units here for one army to clear up. It just takes too long to cut through all these Chinese. And eventually I'll be able to get Russia to accept white peace, hopefully. China would accept white peace, but unfortunately for them, they're not going to get the chance. I'm going to add this war goal, which adds 5 infamy, but is certainly worthwhile. And more occupations from both sides. That's ballsy of China to try and take part of what was once Manchuria, and I will punish them for it. 5th Army is set to go and clear out these occupiers. And I'm going to pull the 6th Army back to our occupied land so that they don't run up against this attrition. Another successful occupation. Going to also pull this army back, but it should still be here when the Russians arrive. Just barely. Still, though, will be nice to completely wipe out that army, gain a little bit more war score, and there we go. Lost 7,000 men and killed 120,000. That's how I expect pretty much every one of these battles to go. Yep, the remainder of this Russian army is attacking us and will be soon wiped out. Sorry, China, I'm not content with just one state. Wiped out some Chinese troops, lost another state here due to just the sheer number of units that China has. Let's see, we're at the 50% occupation and can't add another war goal quite yet, but we'll be able to soon. So we'll keep this battle going, at least for the moment. We've lost the battles in Russia against Russia, apparently. Or I assume Romania has, which would be the, yep, and that's what's hurting my war score. Romania should not have joined in there, but oh well. I will eventually win that war because the Russians would eventually just give up. And once I beat back the Chinese, losing another couple occupations, once I beat back the Chinese, I will be able to focus more directly on the Russians. Won't have to deal with the southern front. But still not quite enough support to add another war goal, but getting there. And have one battle after another, one completely one-sided battle after another. I almost feel bad for the Chinese, but they did start this fight, so I don't feel that bad. Another crushing victory. I'm going to stay here to reoccupy my lands. Ooh, and they're trying to take back the bit of Mongolia I took. But I will knock them off with the 6th Army. And here we go. Alright, China, I'm going to add another war goal. Probably don't have enough war score for them to give that one up. Let's see if we can find a small state that they will give up. Well, first let's figure out what's near us. They won't give up northern Zahili as that's their capital. They might give up Mongolia or outer Manchuria, but outer Manchuria is not worth that much. So let's see, maybe Henan or Shaanxi. So Shaanxi, 33, probably not. Henan's the same. Guess I could get Chinese Manchuria, but that's not worth the 5 infamy. Now let's see what other options we have. Mongolia, way too much there. Outer Manchuria, also too much. Let's try our luck with Shaanxi. That means we will have to push them back and actually occupy some, or their war exhaustion will just rise enough that they will give in anyways, which is possible. We've destroyed over 100 of their regiments and continue to destroy more every day. So it's not beyond reason to think that they would just give in here. Lost another one of those occupations, but it's okay. I'm making progress now and have won a couple more. Met on the battlefield. Anytime they don't have, well, I was going to say anytime they don't have supreme numerical advantage, they're going to be destroyed, but it looks like they're going to be regardless. Oh no, the French have shown up in Brunei. That war is not the one I'm worried about at the moment, though, so I don't really want to, I'm not going to give them that bit of land, and eventually the ticking war score will come in my favor. Oof, more battles. And just got some extra naval organization. I know it's odd for me to stop in August, but this is where I'm going to stop for today since it's been a decent-sized episode already. Thanks for watching. We're in the midst of 2 major wars against both Russia and France and the war against the Chinese. So check back soon to see how that goes as we continue to play Victoria 2, Heart of Darkness.